U-turns. Pretty simple, but pretty difficult when you're a newer rider. The key to doing a successful U-turn is going slow. You want to go slow, and as you are going slow, you don't have to, it makes it easier to modulate the clutch. We talked about modulating the clutch before in one of my other videos with hill starts. You basically become a master at driving a manual transmission once you know how to modulate and manipulate the clutch. So I'm trying to go through my brain and think about the process of what I do when making a U-turn. Let's see here. So whether it's from a standstill or you're already moving, you want to make a U-turn, you have to look where you want to go. Anything you do on a motorcycle, you have to look where you want to go. It's way more paramount than in a car, because on a motorcycle you have to balance yourself. With balancing yourself on two wheels, looking where you want to go is key. Making a left U-turn, you want to look over your left shoulder, and you almost want to basically look behind you, look over your shoulder and behind you, because that's where you want to go. As you look over and look behind you, you want to very slightly lean the bike. And one of the key differences about maneuvering a motorcycle in slow speed versus high speed, you lean the bike only to turn it. Well, once you're going low speed, under 10 miles per hour or so, you actually want to turn the handlebars. Turning the handlebars will mess you up big time at high speed. It'll throw off the gyroscopic effect of the two wheels. The role of the gyroscopic effect in most bike designs is to help steer the front wheel into the direction of a lean. This phenomenon is called precession, and the rate at which an object precesses is inversely proportional to its rate of spin. Think of a spinning top. The faster it goes, the more it wants to stay up. The slower it spins, the easier it wants to topple. But at slow speed, you're going so slow that the gyroscopic effect is very minimal. So turning the handlebars makes taking a U-turn a lot easier than just leaning alone. So as you approach your U-turn, you look over your shoulder, you look behind you at where you want to go, you slightly lean the bike, and you turn the handlebars in the direction you want to go. As you do that, you want to make sure that the bike doesn't tip over, of course. What you have to do is counterbalance yourself, your body. The reason why U-turns are a little difficult for newer riders is because you're not quite used to the weight and balance of the bike. And as with anything, practice makes perfect. So the best and easiest place to practice most techniques on a motorcycle is to find a empty parking lot somewhere. Find some empty stalls, make sure there's no cars around you, parked or anything. Then you want to go ahead and practice your U-turns, either just making straight lefts or all right-hand U-turns, or you can make it a little fun and do figure eights. One thing you want to make sure that you do when you're on the bike at all times is to make sure that you're loose. Don't be so tense, don't be so tight, because anything that may go wrong, or every little bump happens in the road, will get transferred directly into your body, and you feel that, and that just makes you even more nervous and more tense. So anything you do on a motorcycle, make sure that you're loose, you're relaxed, everything's okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and go into this parking lot right here and show you guys what I'm talking about. To this J.C. Penney's. So it's a little clearer over there, not really. Anyways, when it comes to doing a U-turn, you want to make sure that you're loose, like I said. First and foremost, as you initiate the U-turn, look left, lean the bike left, and do your handlebars, steer your handlebars left. And as you steer your handlebars left, you modulate your body, your head, you have to do your head, that's a little exaggerated, but you counterbalance the bike turning to the left by positioning, leaning your body to the right a little bit. It helps out a heck of a lot. And so here we go. Want to make a left turn? Look left, turn left, body right, and go. The hardest thing, it seems like, with anybody who's just learning how to ride a motorcycle, and it's a double whammy if they're just learning how to ride a motorcycle and learning how to operate a manual transmission, the hardest thing is modulating the clutch properly. And so a lot of times what people do is they'll release the clutch really fast, and then they'll get on the throttle, because that's what they know they need to do. Is once you release the clutch, you need to get on the throttle. But then you're come to a space of either two choices: either give it throttle or don't give it throttle. And so what people tend to do is they give it throttle because that's what they know they need to go, and then they end up going too fast. They go too fast for whatever maneuver they're trying to do, and they lose their concentration, they panic. But that's what the majority of people do. And then what some other people do, and the reason why the majority of the other people do this or do that throttle, is you don't give it throttle, and then the bike feels like, since you're going so slow, the bike feels like it's bogging down and is going to die and kill itself. And then sometimes people, it does. And then once the bike stalls and kills itself, they drop their bike. And so that is the reason why the majority of people give throttle and go a little too fast, because they don't want to go too slow, kill the bike, and then drop their bike. That is why it becomes important to practice and learn how to modulate your clutch of a manual transmission. The easy way, as I stated before in one of my other videos, is learning where the friction point is for your bike. And then once you know where the friction point is for your bike, you hold it at that friction point. And sometimes you can, pull the clutch in a little bit to take it out of the friction point and go back into the friction point and take it out of the friction point. And you do that to make sure that the bike doesn't die as you're doing the U-turn. Another little thing that can make doing U-turns a little bit easier is, of course, if you're on the road, you have to be careful and look out, because I see cars do this all the time, and it's like the car drivers don't care and they darn near hit somebody. Is you can kind of help yourself on the motorcycle with a little bit of momentum and just sort of the cadence of doing U-turn by doing what they call a J-turn, going out one way and then initiating the U-turn the other way. As long as you know that you're staying within your lane on the road while you do that, you'll be okay. Go left, initiate the U-turn to the right. That little cadence and a little bit of momentum and movement and extra room that you have from going to the left first and then initiating the U-turn, you know that you're going to make the U-turn. Left, U-turn. Another little tip that can help with moving at slow speed and making U-turn is if you feel like you don't want to modulate the clutch and you just want to give it gas. You have to be cautious with this, but you can keep the throttle open as you're going slow and control your speed by holding your foot on the rear brake. You give it gas, and to make sure that you're not going too fast, you can hold the throttle open so the bike doesn't die, and make sure you don't go too fast by pressing your foot on the rear brake, controlling your speed that way. Going, no clutch, giving it gas, controlling the U-turn with the foot brake. Controlling your speed, not the turn, controlling your speed with the foot brake. Giving it gas, controlling your speed with the foot brake. That is how you make a U-turn. Look left, go left, handlebars left, body right. Learn how to modulate your clutch properly, and if you don't feel like modulating your clutch, control your speed with the rear brake. That is it. I hope this helps you guys out, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out. Oh boy.